There, we should be live now. Good morning, 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning, July 9th, 2022. And I might start getting some sound stuff here to confirm that it's working. Like I said, now I mute that. I've got the right microphone selected this time as opposed to last week, so I think we're good. The Zoom session is open. The waiting room is turned off. So anyone who has those credentials is welcome to come on in, come on down. And I have not been active in chat at all. So let's go see what's been going on there. I have had a brief look at it a couple of occasions. So let's go catch up. Started with Chris Garrett. Well, that's 9:04. Yeah, was he the first? Sometimes. Let's see, go look in here. Yeah, looks like he was the first to show up in chat. And then bring chat window back up. There's Iowa Hank. Yes, he was the second. And yes, you are right, Iowa Hank. The CMOS battery, I do believe, is under there. Did not realize that until you put that in there, and then I went looking, but I got more. There's more to that story, so we'll get to that. Some hellos between people, so I'll start saying hello to Chris and Iowa Hank and Boss. Josh Kinder, Chris Garrett again, Ken Stout. Motherboard is the main printed circuit board, PCB in a computer. The motherboard is a computer central communications backbone connectivity point through which all components and external connect. Motherboards can be found in virtually all computers, especially desktop and laptop PC. And there is the explanations as requested in the title. Oh, that's what it. I figured he was getting at something there. So that's the title, Explain My Motherboard. Well, okay, Ken, that's an explanation of motherboards, but it's an explanation of my motherboard? I don't know. Sorry for the plural of explanation. I'm trying to pinoy. I am trying to pinoy. What? Turning. Sorry for the... I am trying to turning instead of pinoy. I don't know. You're over my head there, Ken. Hello, Tony. Scopio, hello. He's from Droitwich, UK. What about fatherboards? Yeah, I wonder about that. I almost named this video Explain My Mother of a Board rather than motherboard. But yeah, fatherboards, that's a question. Daughter boards, yeah. How about aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews? Did I miss anybody's name? Parker Morse, yes. Hello, and Jeff. Darren, hello. Jonathan Fazani. People saying hello to each other. Oh, there, my screen just skipped on me somewhere. Mike Paradin, Ran Israel, CFWW. See, I'm having to go back up because my screen skipped. I think I've gone back to everyone. You know, Ran Israel, I recognize your name. You've been around here long enough. We're going to turn you blue. Not that I want you to do anything with that moderator status, it's just a way of recognizing that you've been kind of regular. And Tony and John Alloy ran again, skipping around. Jonathan says audio video good. Hello, Zavi Manor. And Greg Guy taking a break, putting up foil in the attic. Speedy C, William Dawson, Jonathan Fazani, I think again, Selden Ball, Jim, KJ3N, waiting room still engaged. Oh, it is. How did that happen? Admit all. Joining. Going back. Yeah, taking off the waiting room again.
There we go.
There we go. So let me take, how close am I to done? I mean, I'm going to go keep catching up with chat here. Ken Stout, turning Filipino. Pinoy is a Filipino word, I guess is what that means. RM, Sane Goat, Ken's listening while he's driving. Chris also said waiting room's still on. SPDC, yada yada, ZV saying hellos to each other, and there I'm caught up. I'm going to bring Zoom up on screen. And hello, Jim in the dark and Chris in the dark.
Yeah, well, that'll get fixed here in a moment.
All right, and I got to paste my picture over picture there so that unending mirror effect stops, and turn off the participants window. There we go. So Jim, did you just fix your lighting by just turning on a virtual background?
No.
Or you also turn lights on?
Yeah, well, no, the camera exposure needed to be adjusted, which it always does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I turned my camera on just before going live, it had this very yellowish color. And Doug looks sick to me. So yeah, it always needs adjustments. Okay, and then I changed the settings back to manual so it doesn't keep readjusting through the show. And I was about to say hello, Chris, but he bailed. Boom. Like, Doug, if you don't say hello to me quick enough, I'm just out of here. No, I know that's not what it was. Well, I'm going to assume that's not what it was. All right. And a couple more things with people saying hello to each other in chat. Are you want something, participate in Zoom also. That's Tehran, Israel. So I'm not sure what to do with that. Chris says he's having issues. Yeah, but why did you leave Zoom, Chris? All right. Cheap shot. I'm having issues too, Chris, but I'm here. I got a little bit of a smirk out of Jim on that, I think.
Well, Doug, my standard saying is I know that I have many issues. I could run you through an entire tour of what my issues are, but I just don't give a damn.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues.
That's exactly it.
All right. So let me go introduce the subject matter for today. Coming back here to monitor 1, where I'm scrolled down below the video. Explain my motherboard. Live stream Saturday, July 9th. There is no CMOS battery, right? Well, I went looking for my CMOS battery. I looked in the manual, looked on the motherboard physically, did not find it. I didn't put any more effort into it after coming to that conclusion. I figured, well, let's just work on this together and help me understand more about my computer. I figured it's got to be there. It's got to be a CMOS battery. Yeah, there is. But I'm going to show why I didn't find it in the manual. Although it is in the manual, just not the way I was trying to find it. Then this computer seems to do memory training every time I turn it on. Why? Now, what I'm describing as memory training is what Kerry Holzman often shows. First time he turns the computer on, it comes on and then goes off, and then comes on again. Well, when I wrote that phrase there, I thought that was happening every time I turn it on. It actually only happens after a full power reset. So I guess I'm going to be asking the audience, is that normal? And also I have over 10 minutes of videos showing different startup experiences of this computer. It takes actually kind of a long time to start up. And with being such a high-end computer, I'm suspecting that is the explanation of why, but I'm kind of looking for confirmation, or is there something I'm missing? And that's why this question, what do I not know about this motherboard that would benefit me? I think most of you know, I am not a custom computer builder. My business, over 30 years, about that number around a lot, it really gets tiring. But I work with major brand computers. The only upgrades I ever do on my client computers is adding memory or putting in larger storage, or switching from a spinning drive to a SSD perhaps. I don't take a case and upgrade the motherboard and CPU. We just buy new computers. It's not financially feasible in the nature of how I have developed my business to do that. here is the motherboard. That's what it's called, and there's a link to the manual. So I am interested if people have see something about this motherboard that would help me better utilize the computer. I am interested in quicker startup times, and I'll be showing you what happens when it's taking so much time to start up. And I'm at the moment, I think it's just because it's something a higher end motherboard does. I don't know. Then, oh, this is this stuff is in all of the videos. So this part here is the only thing that's specific to today's show. Now, I know I saw in chat that Ken Stout was driving. In presenting this video, I have a piece of information that I know Ken Stout will be interested in. Is he back with us yet, or is he still out on the road? I'm guessing he's probably still out on the road. He's saying, when did he leave? Okay, so I'm going to do Control F, Ken, and down arrow through all of this explanation he was given. Back soon, Mrs. K. Need something, I'm on the road. So that was 20 minutes before showtime. And he says still driving. All right. He's probably going to be sufficient to hear what I have to explain that I think is going to be of interest to him. Let's see. Oh, Jonathan Duran, welcome to Team Blue because I made him moderator today. And let's see, I already read that. Chris, camera issues. Got to get my webcam fixed where it's not dark. Need a USB extension. I like it here in the shadows from Ran. What's the BIOS boot time in Task Manager startup? What's the BIOS boot time in Task Manager startup? So has that audio got muted yet? Was that Josh is muted? Chris has an open microphone, so we're not hearing from him right now. And he's got good lighting. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
And Josh is here. And there's Josh on camera. Hello, Josh.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
You got the cable I need to hook up my my second monitor.
Yeah, I heard some of that about you going through changing monitors around or something. I'm not going to delve into that now because I'm going to move on to the subject of Big Beast Build and its startup time. So I'm going to go introduce the photos and videos that I have prepared to show. Of course, I couldn't actually demonstrate rebooting Big Beast Build while I'm live streaming, right? Because I'm live streaming from Big Beast Build. All right, so over here I'm showing my iCloud with photos and videos. I took all of these this morning. And the piece that I think Ken's going to be interested in is how I forced those to upload to iCloud because it didn't go willingly. This one here is, I think, the first of them. That says 18 seconds. I'm going to double click on that and see if that actually was today. Yes, that was today. And what was I doing here? Okay, well, I'm just going to give a high-level overview first of these. So that's a video. This video is 16 minutes long, 15 minutes 59. The rest of these are all photos. So photos of my BIOS setup screen. Because I'm thinking the audience might be wanting to or be able to guide my attention to something in there that I ought to learn more about. I don't understand a lot of what's in there. I can poke my way around and usually find what I need, but it's not very often that I need something. And then here's my the 3 photos, screenshots from my iPhone when I was dealing with the upload issues. So I think maybe I'll wait till Ken's at his computer to show that because I think that would be useful for him to not be driving at the time. So let's go up here. Now this video here I'll bring up. And let's bring in, whoops, wait a minute, wrong button. Yeah, bring zoom into the picture-in-picture. and see what this video is. Now I'm going to mute the audio on there because I wasn't talking along with these videos. I'm moving the mouse down to the Windows button and then doing a shutdown. And I think I changed my mind. Instead of doing a normal shutdown, I think I go back to do a full shutdown from the... Oh, no, that's why it was short, because I bailed on that video, basically. So that one is pointless. I'll do right arrow. Down the bottom right corner, you can see this was the 18-second video. So I'm going to do a right arrow. So this one is 16 minutes long. We might wind up pausing, or we might wind up talking over it and letting it keep running in some times that are boring. And it's just to document how long it takes this computer to restart and find out, is this okay? Is it normal for this kind of computer? So this was 9:09 a.m. this morning. You see the date and time stamp up at the top. And I'm going to mute the volume on it. And I also want to try to make it bigger. Fill the screen. Let's see. Can I, if I double click here? No. Yeah, I'm going to try playing it and see if I get a, is there a play? Oh, there it is. That makes it fuller. Okay, so down in the bottom right corner, and I see now it's kind of blurry. When I looked at it on the phone, it was not blurry. So what's up with that? Hopefully that's going to improve. What I'm doing down there on the run line is I'm typing, I did Windows key R, and then shutdown space /S space /T space T3, I think I did, which basically forces a full shutdown so that we absolutely circumvent the fast shutdown issue. So this gets a full shutdown, and the next startup is going to be a complete startup. The /S is for shutdown. The /T, I think, is the other thing I put on there, is for the timeout of 3 seconds. Yeah, that is horribly blurry. So here's shutting down. So the time, since I'm going to let this run, well, you can simply use the DVR to go back and see how long did each of these processes take. So then I'm going over to the computer, and you see the fan spinning down. Here it looks like the fan is stopped. Still got lights, and then I'm just turning the computer on again. So this is just a normal startup. I'm keeping the camera pointed to the computer until there's something on the monitor to see. There's a screen, let's see, my mouse does show up. There's a status screen right here that I do close-ups of later to show the messages, the status messages that it's showing as it's starting up. So now something is on the monitor. The Republic of Gamers logo. Down at the bottom, press delete or F1 to get into setup. Spinning circle of dots. And we are a minute 45 into the video, which included shutting down. And then on the right-hand screen, got the wallpaper for logging in. Put in the PIN code.
The nice big monitor, Doug.
Well, when I'm holding, it looks big when I'm got the camera that close. I think these are 22-inch. And it's still starting up. And look at the icons down in the notification area to judge when it's completely started up. I move the mouse down to the notification area and just keep moving it around there. And as long as the hourglass is still coming and going. Now, I've got a lot of things that are loading, and I know that. I could reduce that, but they're, for the most part, things that I do use. Yeah, okay, so there's Jim's reaction. Yeah, we can go look at what those are later if we wind up.
Doug, I've seen that many icons on people's machines when they only have 4 gig of RAM. I can't imagine what you're having done here. Jesus.
Uh, well, they aren't actually very active. They're not utilizing much active RAM, but they are sitting there and active, waiting to able to be called on at a moment's notice. So here I'm shutting down again. This is also again a full shutdown. We're at 3 minutes 22 now. I guess I want to, maybe it'd be useful if I keep that displaying all the time, because when we go back or when somebody goes back and tries to judge it, you see this fan spinning down there. And then I'm going to turn off the power switch on the power supply. And I did not actually unplug the power cable here, if I'm remembering correctly. I just turned the power switch off. And then hold down the power button 10 to the count of 10 to be sure it's completely drained. And here what I'm demonstrating is what I'm calling memory training when I turn it back on. So here's turn the power supply back on. The lights on the motherboard light up, and then press the power button to start it up. So you see the case fan spinning, and then it's going to stop and pause for a few moments and then start up again. So this is what I'm calling memory training, and this is what made me wonder, is it missing a CMOS battery? Because I didn't think that was supposed to happen that way. Jim, you gave a hum. Does that mean that was surprising to you?
It is a little surprising to me. But I'm wondering if part of the reason is the sheer volume of memory that's in the machine.
Yeah, that's reasonable explanation. For those who don't know, this has 256 gigabytes of RAM. Somebody just fell over in the audience. You think?
Possibly. Well, here's a good way to verify that it's actually the sheer amount of memory. Pull out memory sticks. Leave only 2 sticks in and see how it behaves.
Certainly. Now, I have not investigated any of this. Did I need to do a live stream and bring the community in to investigate all this? No, but I'm not interested in pursuing it just for my own interest. I thought it would be interesting content for my channel. So I figured let's go at it together. And some of you already may know answers to this stuff that I don't know, because like I said, I'm not a custom computer builder.
Well, I saw in the manual where the battery is located. It just wasn't where you thought it would be.
Well, I'll get to that explanation later. That's not actually the reason why I didn't find it. But I'll get to that explanation later. So here I'm showing, I guess I'm revealing something about there about my Magnusbox subscription. Didn't intend to do that. But that's not a problem anyway. So, and I use this technique with client computers to judge its startup when I restart their computer. I don't try doing much with it until it's completely started up. I'll also use Task Manager to judge it when I see the idle process percentage go up to a high number. That's how I know it's completely started. Although some background items will delay even longer before they launch. So it's not unusual for me to see in Task Manager where system idle goes high and then it CPU time, it gets occupied with something else again. So here we do another shutdown. This time I got an error message that the computer winds up shutting down anyway. IC router. Okay, IC router is one of the things that is launching in the notification area. An IC router is a VPN connection to a client's office to where I can connect remotely to their network without using my LogMe and Rescue. And that's the office that we're increasing their cybersecurity measures, and I will no longer be allowed to use LogMe and Rescue. I was trying to set up the cell phone camera on a tripod here, secured in such a way that I can show you what's happening on this screen. The computer's shut down right now, so all that excess movement is not important. Not important to see what's going on. Right now, the computer is shut down, power is still connected, the power supply is on. So it's still displaying this thing. And then I turned it on. So these are the messages coming up, and I force the camera to keep its focus here by, if you hold your finger down on the cell phone camera for a few seconds, it'll lock the autofocus and auto exposure, so it stops trying to make adjustments because those lights are messing it up. When I put my finger on the cell phone right on that display panel that I'm trying to show, it focuses on that and ignores the lights that are around it. So this is what's happening when I'm starting the computer up. It's going through all of those codes. One of my thoughts was, might be possible in CMOS setup to tell it to do a fast boot where it doesn't do all that. Now here the cell phone was still adjusted for that close-up, and I think I just fixed that focus on it. Yeah, it looks like it did. I was wondering if I was actually revealing my PIN code there, but no, guess it didn't. I thought the camera was on my fingers. Then, let's see, do we have another one? Let's see how far along we are. Yeah, we got still another 5 minutes, 51 seconds. So what else did I do? Oh, I think I do another full power cycle and show what's happening on that status readout, because one of the things that I've had on my mind of what to do was to compare those status readouts on a cold boot versus a normal boot. And I know the picture-in-picture on the zoom in set is wrong right now, and I don't want to switch over to fix it because that means I have to leave this video. I can do that. Okay, so shut down. We go back to the computer, and I believe now I'm going to do a full power cycle. And that's right, I'm showing you. So get back here to turn the power switch off. And then hold down the power button for 10 seconds to fully discharge. Now I did not unplug the power cable, and I am interested in doing another series to compare that and see if unplugging the power cable actually produces something different.
My initial reaction is it shouldn't.
Yeah, it would seem to me that it shouldn't, but when you turn that rocker switch on the back of the power supply is a physical rocker switch. I would expect it to be turning off all power to the motherboard.
That would be my assumption.
So at this point, it's just power is on. There you saw the fan spin up. So that was powering on, and I didn't actually show me pressing the power button. So this video was focused there. Now here's the power off. It's doing that memory training thing and then starting up again. So the last close-up of this status readout was not a full power cycle. It was just shut down the computer and start up. This one was with a full power cycle. So I'm curious to compare what the statuses are doing during those different sequences. And if I wind up doing that, I'll go back and do that later. I don't know that we'll do that during this live stream. It's possible. I guess we could. Or it's possible somebody may rewind into the DVR mode and look closer at that. And I got no idea what those statuses mean. VGA code. What VGA, as in a display VGA, or does that VGA mean something else?
No, it's pertaining to the graphics card. That's all.
Okay, just using. Is the term VGA still applicable when this video card doesn't have any VGA ports?
Yeah, I think it is. It's just it's
right.
easier to just do VGA than to try to put something else on there. They probably only have so many characters to work with on the display.
Now here, the HDD detect and the HDD codes, I will point out that this computer has an 8 terabyte NVMe M.2, and it has a Western Digital Red Label, I think it's called, 6 terabyte spinning drive. And for those who don't know, spinning drives do have specific purposes and advantages in long-term storage. Like they're typically favored for NAS devices. So that was intentional to have that be a spinning drive. Now, how are we doing? Yeah, 46 seconds left. Been ignoring the chat room through this whole video run.
Refresh my memory, Doug. What's the processor in this thing?
I'll have to go refresh my memory in order to answer that. It's an i9.
Okay.
I'll tell you that much.
Is it a Xenon by any chance?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's according to what I'm seeing on the motherboard layout in the manual, it's a 2066 pin socket, which wouldn't be a normal i9.
Okay.
The normal i9s would be like the 1150 something, 1200 or 1700. The 2066, I think, is something different.
All right. I'll have an answer for that shortly. Let's see what I need to do there to make that right. Fixing that.
Because I have zero experience with the 2066 socket board. I've never had one.
All right. And hello, Jeff. I think I already said hello to Chris, did I not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go pull up the information about the CPU. And every time I do that, I've been going back to Carrie's email that has his invoice, so I'm not going to actually display that. Where is it? And what I should do is copy these elements so that I can have them readily available to you. I think I've done it before. So it's a Intel Core i9 9880XE.
Okay. That sounds like it's a Xenon type processor.
Wouldn't it have the name Xenon in the
I would think it would, but I'm guessing here.
Is Xenon a higher quality or lower, or what's the
Xeon is a server CPU.
That's what I was going to guess. Now, are we saying Xenon or Xeon?
It's actually Xeon. Xeon.
Yeah. Xeon is what I was recollecting as a CPU nomenclature. Wow, did I just say that word?
Your comment about the battery had me looking up the details of an old computer I used to have. I used to have an HP 486 that had no battery at all, no
Oh,
CMOS battery.
yeah.
It
Well,
had a special circuit that had a coil and some capacitors and resistors that was set up to hold a charge, and it used that instead of a battery.
well, another thing I was imagining in my mind is I have seen motherboards that have pins for connecting a battery, and they used a cassette that you could put AA batteries in,
Huh.
and power CMOS that way.
Yeah, this was a weird system. It was actually designed as a server. It could run 7 different operating systems. My brother-in-law was an HP salesman, and he got this for me. Somebody had ordered it and returned it, so I got it through him.
All
It had
right.
one of those EISA bus systems. Very weird thing.
X series processors is what I'm reading in the manual. I've never dealt with those before.
Okay, we'll go to the manual in a little bit. So I'm going to go catch up with chat. What's the BIOS boot time in Task Manager startup? We'll go take a look at that. Over here. I so rarely go. Oh, here it is. Last BIOS time 340 seconds. So 60 divide. Doing math while I'm live streaming. I just don't do it so well. Alexa, 340 divided by 60.
340 divided by 60 is approximately 5.6667.
There you go. 5.667 minutes. So that sounds crazy long. I really question if that's accurate, because the number of times that I booted the computer during that video was only 15 minutes long.
I stuck a link in to about the CPU in the chat on Zoom.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the chat. Oh, on Zoom. The chat on Zoom. All right.
If I got the number right that you read off to us.
Oh, for the CPU.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that the? Have I got the right one? Didn't you say 9980 XE?
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to keep that there for now, but I'm going to go back and catch up with chat.
Sure.
Okay, Philip Musto, hello Tio. Hello's back and forth. I forgot about cable. Let's see. Somebody's got background noise there. If you want to mute that, I'm gonna change that picture in picture. Ali Novak, hello. 40 people in chat. There's a like button. All right, Josh, I'm muting you.
I don't know.
Iran, Israel, is the BIOS set to go through the full post or fast boot? I do have some photos of BIOS, and I just took the photos. I didn't really look for that, so that is something I'm wondering about. That motherboard is a rocket ship to the moon when compared to mid or lower end motherboard with all its optional settings. It has one of the switches could be set wrong. Yeah, I'm highly suspicious that could be the case. Task Manager, check boot time. We did that. Why is the time off? I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Chris going to step away from the computer because of lightning. Oh, okay. So he's going to step away from the computer so that the computer takes the shot from the lightning because he doesn't want to be injured. That's why he's stepping away from the computer, because it might shock him if lightning happens. Some hellos. It's a playback. Oh, I guess maybe that was answering the time off. Oh, okay, yeah. So if he was saying time on my monitor or something, that might have been why he was asking that. Watching a video on the video. Okay, gotcha. Looks like a similar issue you were seeing. Were you able to resolve it from Wintermeat to Rick? My grandkids here, so paying half attention, so I will say half hello to you, Iowa. No, that's quite all right. Let's see, this chit chat. I'm going to start skipping chit chat. Disconnect your spinners and try a restart. Yeah, that's on my list of possibilities. See if that makes a difference. Chit chat. That's chit chat, but Extreme Edition text desktop CPU series. Is mute in my computer. Okay, well that's still chit chat, so I'm not going to try to figure out what that was. The CPU is an extreme, top of the line, specialized, small run, enthusiast only chip. Oh really? Okay. No, I wouldn't have known that. Did you look under the lower M.2 battery should be there? And I believe it is there, and I'll show why I have not confirmed that yet when we get to some other photos. And but according to the manual, yes, it should be there, and I think it is. That is long. Did you look under the M.2 battery should be there? That is long. I'm not sure what that is long refers to. Oh, that maybe it's a long time. Mine says 14.4 seconds. Yeah, that must have been when I was showing how long it was taking. And Eileen says, thank you. Jeff says, for my 10850 with 64 gig memory, last boot was 9.9 seconds.
It's also an i9.
Okay. I really don't think that my computer took that long. Somebody could go back in the DVR mode and see if it actually took, what would we say, 5.6 minutes, something like that. I don't think it took that long.
No, I don't think it took that long either.
Yeah, that's that. And BIOS time, when I first saw that in Task Manager as something you could look at, I thought that's probably not the full Windows startup. That should just be
right,
the BIOS portion of startup. So certainly not. And I know that I have previously been very suspicious of the accuracy of the time that's shown here. I just don't believe it currently. Boss says, I don't find last BIOS time info to be reliable or accurate. Yeah, we are in full agreement there. So let's go fix Zoom again. The reason why I do this is so that the people who are watching through Zoom, they can actually see what I'm broadcasting. When I switch to the other screens, they actually see in the Zoom session what I'm broadcasting. And the technique I use for that, to do that, I put this picture-in-picture over that image so that it doesn't look messy to YouTube. Oh, but now I'm going to mess it up again because I'm going to turn off the turn off the chat in Zoom. That's going to mess it up again. If I had enough, what do they call it? Presets in XSplit. XSplit only gives me 3 presets. I could have a preset for each different level of sizing that I need, so I could just punch a button. Close enough. All right, now I need to get on to some other the rest of the story. Get to the right window here. The rest of the pictures.
Oh, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Now, the memory training episode, does that happen every single time or only after you've killed power completely?
Only if I kill power. And the first of those videos did demonstrate that, but I don't expect you to, remember every piece of what I've shown. So so the question is valid. If I do a shutdown, Windows commanded full shutdown.
Right.
And then press the power button to turn it back on. It does not do that memory training. Prior to setting up for today's live stream, I thought it did, because I very rarely shut it down. So I think the times that I have shut it down and just pressed the power button to turn it back on were so rare that I had not distinguished that in my mind yet. up to that point. And the times that I do a shutdown has probably been for the reason of doing a full power recycle. I don't see or recollect any normal reason that I would have for doing a normal Windows commanded shutdown. I do hibernate the computer almost every night. The reason why I do that is because it's noisy and it produces heat in here, and I just prefer to not deal with that.
Right. I may have an answer to why that is.
Now I also, and I'm also pursuing something else on that too, that might be part of today's conversation, but prior to doing hibernation, I was doing standby. And for a significant amount of time, it was waking up from standby pretty well. And then it stopped resuming from standby pretty well. Meaning when I press the key on the keyboard or mouse, it wouldn't wake up. And I think even sometimes I would do a press and release of the power button on the computer and it would not wake up. I wind up forcing power off. So I didn't like that. The reason why I like doing standby or hibernate is because I typically have a lot of stuff open. I use a lot of different software. However, I don't leave video software open. So I have XSplit for live streaming on Live Windows Training. I have Streamlabs OBS Prime for live streaming on my Fortnite channels, because I do that multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, and it's pretty convenient doing that. And I also just want to have the experience of using both products. I have Adobe products with Adobe, what's it called? Premiere. Adobe Premiere and Adobe Elements. I have the full Adobe suite, but I only use Premiere and Elements. And I have other video software that I'm no longer using, installed on the computer but not open and active. But I have learned to not leave any of those open. Anything dealing with video just doesn't survive very well being left open. Not just through a sleep or through standby or through hibernate, but just leaving it open. Sometimes I come back to the computer and find it crashed. And when I go searching, I find people giving a lot of people having those kinds of problems first. Second, giving responses to them that just make me think those programs they focus on achieving their objective jobs, but aren't really scrutinized for living and playing well with others. And leaving them on in the background while I'm doing other stuff for long periods of times, I've just decided, no, I'm just not going to do it. All right, that was kind of a long explanation. Let's get into something worthwhile here. So here's those two videos that we've looked at. So here's photos that I thought might be of interest. I'm not trying to show anything specific in particular. I'm looking for how to make that big. I don't get those arrows like I got on the video to make this full screen. There's got to be something. Oh, that zooms in. That probably gave someone a headache. Come on, give me something.
Give me shelter. Anyway,
I'll just move on. Wait, let's see, what are these? Add to an album, favorite, share, no. Nothing there to make it big. Make the browser full size. Okay, moving on. So this is just the My Favorites screen on the UEFI BIOS utility. You can see down here what version I have. Then right arrow key, this gets into the main tab, and then right arrow key again, just as a close-up of the version number. Right arrow again. What I'm showing here, I switched to the easy mode. I'm going to go back a couple of pictures and show that this is the advanced mode. Down here in the bottom right is a place to switch to easy mode. I'm going to turn off the picture-in-picture. So what I did on here, now this down here in the bottom right is to switch to advanced mode. It's telling me to press F7. So this is showing me this summary information on easy mode. Right arrow key again. I zoomed in here. Oh, I got interested. The first time I noticed this graphic right here is advancing from the right to the left, which I thought was a weird thing. And it looks like it's showing temperature, and it looks like it shows a little blip down in temperature right in this area. And when I do a right arrow key, it's going to show the next photo. And up at the top, you can see this is 9:45:17. So here's right arrow. So this is 9 seconds later. That graphic is going to is extending out to the left, and we still see those little blips on the left edge of that. Right arrow key again. This is another 6 seconds later, and it's moving further out to the left. And here I've gone on to something else. I have the mouse floated over this aura thing as telling about the aura, which is the control of the LEDs, the RGB lighting. And I guess I didn't show when that graphic got all the way to the right. I thought I did. You know what? I bet I pressed to take a photo when it was all the way to the left edge, and it just didn't take, because I'm sure I did that. So then advancing again through these photos. I'm not expecting people to fully absorb everything that was in those, but if they want to come back to look at those, or rewind in DVR mode to look closer and then question something. Here's the motherboard. Now, so that CMOS battery is under this area somewhere. So this shows why I couldn't physically see it on the motherboard.
Yeah, it's under the plate.
Yeah, it's under that plate. And it looks to me like in order for me to take that plate off, I have to, of course, shut the computer down and remove the graphics card, and remove all the power connections to the graphics card, remove the 4 video connections that I have to the card. There's 3 monitors connected to that card, and there's a capture device connected.
Can you say major pain in the ass to do that?
Yeah. So I haven't done that yet, and I don't think I'm going to, unless we really become suspicious that there might not be a battery there. But I don't think that's the case.
No,
I think the battery's there.
That's not the case. I think I have the solution as to the 2 different behaviors, but continue.
Okay. And let's see. I just had a brain fade on what I was going to say next, but I'll just move on.
Brain fart.
Yeah. Okay, so here, this is the picture that I wanted to talk about when Ken Stout is back. Is he shown up yet? He says he's heading home, so we'll hold off on that because that's not really germane to the conversation. Here's Dennis saying page 18 shows where the battery is below the secondary. Yes, I'm going to show that in the manual in a moment. Is Hibernate fast startup enabled? Yes, it is, because I'm actually using Hibernate. And fast startup is enabled, although I don't ever really use that, because that's only really applicable if I do a Windows normal shutdown and then press the power button to turn it back on. So for client computers, I turn that off because I think it reduces potential service calls, and that's another subject matter. M.21 actually towards the start button. Are you saying towards the start button rather than where I showed it? And I think he probably put that in before I showed that. Ken heading home. Yes, Rick, Dennis does have a YouTube channel, this same name, and that's where he and I live stream our Fortnite gameplay together, and he does lots of other Fortnite stuff there. That's mostly what he does. I have turned off YouTube, always watching a video. I have never turned off YouTube, always watching a video. And Dennis is answering Rick. I do too, but nothing I call spectacular amazing. No video in the last few days. No content, nothing to talk about. It's not been discussed already. I'll add the mention there that Dennis's channel has two. I think it's around 275,000 subscribers. So a lot larger subscriber count than I have. Greg Guy says my startup time is 12.4 seconds for an AMD 2600, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now, let's go look at the manual, and then we'll get to Jim's explanation. So I'm going to start with explaining why, when I got suspicious about a CMOS battery, what I did is I came in here to the manual, did Control F, and typed CMOS, and it gets 11 hits. I hope I'm not going to make a liar out of myself, because that's more than I recall it coming. Oh, here's CMOS. Clear CMOS button is what it shows there. I've got zoomed out a bit. Now I can zoom in, but I'm going to stay zoomed out for a little bit. Here's a clear CMOS button is what it's shown. Down arrow key again. Down here at the bottom, top of the next page, it says clear CMOS button. So I'm wanting to find CMOS battery. And then here another clear CMOS button. Doesn't mention the battery. Down arrow again, clear CMOS button. Down arrow again, and that's that same clear CMOS item. And here it is, system startup and motherboard CMOS, so that's not CMOS battery. And here's another clear CMOS explanation, and then there's clear CMOS button, and there's erase the CMOS real-time clock, and then there is clear CMOS button. So nothing about a CMOS battery. So then I did a search for battery. Battery. And it comes up with 0 hits, except I spelled it wrong. There, 2 hits. It says, do not throw the mercury containing, let's go ahead and make this bigger, because this is talking about a battery. Do not throw the mercury containing button cell battery municipal waste. This symbol across out waste button indicates batteries should not be placed in municipal waste. Great, that was disappointment. So then I go down arrow key. There's another mention in here, battery. Since it mentions a button cell battery, I now have hope. There is a CMOS battery somewhere. So here go the next one. It's in the same paragraph. So there's nothing in there for CMOS battery. When it was mentioned in chat this morning, and directing my attention to it, to where it is. See if I can bring this back now. Oh, geez. I'm going to go fix the zoom again. There. Now, just after I do that, somebody else is going to come in, aren't they? And mess me up. Where do I want to go? Oh, back to here. So what I did then, when somebody in chat said and told me where it was, they said near the M.2. So I just typed in M.2, and I figured, oh, that's going to come up a whole lot of places. So I'm just going to look in the table of contents here for the motherboard layout, and that's the path I went. Motherboard installation, where was that at? Here, motherboard layout. So I come in here and click on this, and that'll take me straight to that page. And so they said near the M.2, and I said, boom, that's obvious. That's a CMOS battery if I've ever seen one. It's clearly right there. Oh, one of my thoughts along this pursuit was, could it be under the motherboard? And I think I did speculate also that it might be under some kind of a cover. So I see it here, but all these, this motherboard layout, all these things are identified. If you look at these numbers, you can go to a table and look them up. So if you want to find water block connector, you could come up here and search water block, and it's going to take you to that, and it's going to tell you where to see it. It's going to tell you it's item number 3 on the layout. So then this morning I looked at these other diagrams. Not one of them identifies the CMOS battery. never identify it. So I suppose that's a weakness in the motherboard manual. Do they have a responsibility to show that? You know, is that do they choose for some reason not to identify it in the manual? And actually, before I went looking at on the on-screen manual, I looked in here. This is I actually have a physical manual for this motherboard. That's a high-end motherboard would do that, right?
Not just high-end motherboards.
Oh, is that, do all motherboards come with physical manuals?
I have at least 7 motherboard boxes. They all have manuals.
Okay. You know, like I say, I'm not a builder, so I actually started my business building computers as a service to my clients, because that was back in the day of PC clone computers. And before I started my own business in 1992, I had already been working for another company, and we built computers for our clients. We bought components from a local supplier. So what did that start? I don't know, 1989, 88, somewhere around there. I've kind of been tempted to go back and look at my tax returns to figure out when was that. We buy the component parts and put them together, but we didn't call them custom computers. We called them PC clones, because there was no Amazon. The only way you could buy a computer in a store was buying a major brand name, and even then, I don't think we had them at Best Buy. And I don't recall how I do remember. We did buy pre-built computers from AST and from Compaq and from HP. I think we had to order them directly from those companies. I'm not sure that we could even buy them from a local store, or if we could. Oh, yeah, I remember my employer, he actually became a dealer, I think, for AST in order to be able to order from them. So, anyway. Back in the day. And I got out of that business when it got to a point where I got out of that business, meaning I stopped building computers for my clients when it got to the point that the warranty coverage for those was just eating me alive, because I had no control over what components the local dealer in a back alley shop was selling, or how well they were tested. You know, they came from China or whatever, and they just had too many problems. So it wasn't justifiable to continue warranty coverage for those. So if I can't warranty them to my clients, then I ought to be just buying pre-built computers, and that's what I wound up doing. All right, now let's come back to chat and catch up. Oh, nothing to catch. Oh, yeah, there is. Not much. Start button mounted on the motherboard. Yes, I'm aware of that. I haven't had to use it, although I suppose I could have when I had issues with when the computer would lock up and the case power button, well, wouldn't respond to press and release, but it did respond to holding it down. But I think the reason they put that there is so that you can do bench testing on a motherboard before installing it into the computer.
That's one of the reasons, yeah.
Yeah. Sane Goat snagged it this morning. I don't know what he's referring to there. I think that's chit chat between people. Chit chat. All I said is revealed just moments ago. Yeah, so I think that was regarding a previous comment that he made before I revealed it. Don't need it. It's none of the good stuff. That's chit chat between a couple people. I remember when the CPU of your computer don't have a fan on the heatsink. Oh yeah, it didn't have a heatsink. The earlier CPUs that I was building, we didn't put a fan or a heatsink on the CPU.
Heatsink? We don't need no stinking heatsink.
No. If there was a battery, ran. Okay, if there was no battery, you should have been getting CMOS checkman, some error default settings loaded message. Yeah, I would have expected that too. So it didn't really make sense to me that there wasn't a battery, but the thing that still doesn't make sense to me, maybe Jim will clarify here in a moment, why is it doing that symptom behavior that seems to be memory training when I do a power reset? Jim, you ready to
Doug,
say what
I've
you
been
think?
ready. I've been ready.
All right, you're on.
Yeah. All right. You want to bring up the manual again.
Okay.
You want to go to section 3.8 where it says boot menu. And by the way, when you're in the CMOS, you will have to be doing advanced mode for this. You can't do easy mode.
Okay, so I'm going I'm typing 3.8 into the search, and here it gets me to that in the table of contents. So I'm going to click on that to actually get to that portion.
Okay. Now note where it says fast boot.
Yep.
Okay. Disabled or enabled. You probably do have it enabled. But look at the next section. It says the following item appears only when fast boot is set to enable, and this is after AC power loss. My guess is it's reverting to normal boot instead of fast boot when you have a complete power loss.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna read this through to understand it. The following item appear only when fast boot is set to enabled. Okay, so if fast boot is enabled, which could possibly be the case now, or I wouldn't be surprised if it is disabled, because even a normal power button startup seems to take a long time. Bless you.
Okay, whatever.
Then next boot after AC power loss, which would mean it could mean turning the power switch on the power supply off, or it
Correct.
could mean unplugging the power supply.
Either way, yes.
How do they define power loss? How does the motherboard sense power loss? Because it's possible, as far as I know, that when you turn off the power switch on the power supply, there might still be a trickle of power that goes through the motherboard. I don't know.
There should not be. There should
right.
not be.
I think all the lights on the motherboard turn off when I turn off the power switch on the
Yeah.
power supply.
Yeah.
And my video documented that, even if I'm not confident about saying that. Next boot after AC power loss, normal boot, returns to normal boot on the next boot after AC power loss, but this only applies if fast boot is enabled.
Correct. So first of all, you have to go into the boot menu when you're in
Yeah.
advanced mode in the CMOS.
Yeah.
Double check to make sure fast boot is enabled. If it
All
is
right.
enabled, then you need to check the second item.
Okay. So next boot after AC power loss, if fast boot accelerates the boot speed on the next boot after an AC power loss. Okay. Okay. So
The fact that you're getting two different behaviors depending on whether it's just a normal power off without taking the AC away versus taking the AC away, you're getting two different results. I'm suspecting this is what's going on.
yeah, and this option here about fast boot, that is a menu choice in CMOS separately and independently from that, and only if this is selected, then this menu appears
Correct.
for selecting what do I want to occur after an AC power loss. So if I go straight to looking for this and don't see it, well, that could be because fast boot is disabled. This menu option only appears if this option is enabled. Is that your understanding?
I understand.
Okay. Now, this is on the boot menu, and I'm guessing that's not in my collection of photos.
It's on the I think it's on the first or second picture you took of the BIOS screen. I believe there was the boot on that particular menu. It has to be, you have to be in advanced mode.
Yeah, I'm going all the way back to here. So here is, I'm in advanced mode, and here's this boot option. So what I'm saying is I don't think I took a photo of that tab today.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I have been in there before, and I have looked at it, but not specifically regarding this issue. So I'm going to go to the next photo, and this was still on the advanced. What I'm showing here is the main tab. And then the next photo is where I'm showing the version number. And then here, this is in easy mode, and it identifies that up here. And it's identified because down here it now says advanced mode, and there is no boot menu choice. Right arrow key again, and that was when I was looking at that temperature stuff. And then that's, I think I did take one more photo of that temperature thing, but I did not get that boot menu. That makes a lot of sense, Jim. So that will be my next pursuit on this subject. And there's no other comments in chat. Have I shown and told everything I had in mind today? I think so. Here's William says there's a standby voltage of 5 volts that allows the computer to short the green wire of the 24-pin power connection to ground to turn on the power supply main circuit paths.
Yeah, but that 5 volts isn't there when you turn the power switch off on the back. It's not there.
Yeah, I would think that to be the case.
You pull the AC cord, or you turn the power supply switch off on the back. That 5 volts isn't there.
Yeah, that should be the same result. Okay. Then I think my topic is done. Now what do we do? Is Ken back?
I haven't seen him pop back in yet.
No, he hasn't popped in yet. I could go show my Ken stuff without him here because he can watch it on screen later if need be. Does anybody else have issues, subjects, questions, topics of interest to bring up in chat or in Zoom?
William Dawson says that's when the BIOS senses the power loss because that standby 5 volt goes away. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And it senses that in turning the power switch off on the power supply.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why shutting down a computer allows power still to the motherboard is for the capability of being able to remotely turn a computer on. I have capabilities within remote connections to client computers that I've never implemented this, never tried to, have no interest in it. But if they shut their computer down, I could have their computer configured so that I could remotely turn it on. And in order to accomplish that, the motherboard has to have power coming to it. All right, now I'll go fix that again.
Oh, now we're in trouble.
Here comes Gary.
No fair.
No fair?
You know who?
Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Do you have comments, questions, subjects to bring to the table?
Actually, I do have one probably between you and Jim. I go into YouTube and it asks me if I want to allow notifications. Is there a way to allow notifications in Edge from YouTube automatically?
So in Edge, you go to YouTube, and every time it asks you about allowing notifications?
Or block, yes. From YouTube.
That sounds like a site-specific setting in Edge, so I'm bringing that up on a screen here. I'll go ahead and show my exploration here. Oh, but first, I want to say hello to Jose, because Jose's here. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. And did you have any subjects to bring up, or are you just coming into Zoom to hang with us?
Just to hang out.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So here...
I was going to say it may be in YouTube, but it only allows it on Google Chrome.
It only allows it on in Google Chrome.
Yeah, notifications. You don't have a choice for which browser.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding the question. Are you saying
Go over to the bell.
the bell? Yeah.
Go up to the top, which settings?
Let's see.
Right here. I'm sorry. Straight down. Hit the bell
The bell. Oh, go to the settings gear icon.
for notifications.
All right.
Get notifications in browser,
Yeah. Turn that on.
and that's the message I get every time I sign on.
Allow. So then I'm going to close Edge, and when I come back into here, you're saying that's going to be off?
No, it actually underneath of it, just about an eighth of an inch down, it says Chrome, and you can't change it. Between the two. No, between that right there. Yeah.
Right in this area, you have something there that I don't have?
It says Chrome. Yes.
It says
In fact, I'm
Chrome.
looking at it.
Are you able to share your screen to show us that?
Sure.
Yeah, I have sharing turned on.
I just figure out where the hell I'm at. Excuse me. Okay, get rid of that. It's nothing secret. Just.
Yeah, don't ask me questions about Edge since I don't use the damn thing.
Well, no, it's definitely YouTube.
So because we went into this from YouTube, this whole screen is specifically about YouTube.
Share screen. Stupid.
Receive notifications even if you're not watching YouTube. Okay.
Nothing private. Share. It should be. Okay, I'm making sure that's what I want to share, but.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Let's see what this is all about.
Right there, and there's mine.
Oops, hang on a second. I've got to make an adjustment to my Zoom capture. Oh no, what I'll do is I'll capture that monitor. This one. Get to the right one. I've still got the wrong one. Oh yeah, you are. That is your screen. Okay, and I'm going to turn off the picture-in-picture. Okay. So
Okay.
we're seeing your display of today's video, and this is in Edge, and you're not signed in to Edge.
I was. I'm gonna log off, so I don't want to show my real sign on.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna set that up.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because I think I turned that setting on in YouTube for me. I'm running Firefox, and I do get notifications out of Firefox.
Yeah, well, probably let you. I mean, okay, let's go to share screen. And looking at you, something I don't want to share.
Okay, I'm gonna let you get it on screen before I display it over video to be sure you get
Yeah, that should be me right
showing
now.
just what you want. Okay, so is that good, right?
Ah, crap. Okay,
Tell me when
And
I'm
you're
good to display you.
you're fine.
Okay.
There it is.
And all right, so I'm
Wow,
gonna
that's
display
interesting.
that monitor. Okay, so here we're at your settings screen. Get notifications in this browser. Yeah, right here. So I was perceiving that it was a separate selection, but no, it's a sub element of this selection. Get
So if I
notifications.
say, well, what did yours say? Excuse me to interrupt. Mine
Yeah.
says get a notification in this browser.
Yes, that's exactly the name of it. But
Oh,
under that, I have a phrase that says receive notifications on your computer even if you're not watching YouTube, but it does not have that emblem of Chrome.
and if I turn it on, nothing changes. And if if you notice up in the left-hand corner, you
Yeah.
have the message also.
Yeah. So if you click allow there, what happens?
The rest of the time I'm on, it will allow me to. I mean, I will get notifications.
You'll get notifications as long as you have Edge open, but when you reopen Edge, is
No, that's
this
the same
off?
question. No, it'll be on, and it'll still say Chrome, but it'll ask me again in the left-hand corner.
It'll ask you again what?
In the left-hand corner,
In the left-hand corner.
right where it
Oh,
was.
so
up here.
it makes you confirm that again.
Every time I open it, yeah.
Every time
Yeah,
you
I read
open
it.
it, Even if this is already set to yes. So let's test that behavior on my computer because we haven't tested that yet.
Right. And I've
All right.
asked people, you and I probably do a lot more YouTube than people I ask.
Okay. But I don't watch YouTube from Edge. I do use Edge, but since YouTube is kind of yikes.
You kind of,
Reopen it.
That's Ken.
That's my fault. I reopened it. Nope, I'm off. It's not my fault.
I think that was Ken.
Yep. He's a man.
he's going to go in his own waiting room for that one.
Yeah. So here I'm back at my computer, and I'm gonna change the picture-in-picture to just me because it's a little messed up right now while screen sharing is happening. But here we've turned on notifications in this browser, and I did get that confirmation thing. Then I'm gonna close Edge and reopen Edge and go to YouTube. And then click on notifications bell and then click on settings, and it does say get notifications this browser, but it did not prompt me for a confirmation. And Gary, you're saying every time you go back into Edge to YouTube, it asks you a confirmation for notifications, right?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
if I go into notifications and turn it on, it says Chrome, and you can't change it.
Yeah, that's weird. I just pulled up Edge just for the hell of it, and yeah, I don't get anything about Chrome on mine at all.
Did you turn? Is it on?
I just turned on notifications for the browser.
Right. So if I turn mine off, Chrome stays there no matter what.
Yeah, I don't even get. There's nothing there. It just says notifications in the browser, and then underneath it, it doesn't specify anything at all. Not Chrome, nothing. So
And if you
that's
notice at the
really
bottom,
weird. That's really weird.
Google Chrome is closed on my machine. So
Yeah. So, are you on an insiders program from Microsoft?
not on Edge.
Not on Edge. Well, Microsoft Insiders is Microsoft Insiders. Edge is Microsoft. So how would you be on a Insiders program and that excludes Edge?
Actually, if you do Visual Studio as an example, and if you do 365 Office as an example,
Yeah.
if you do regular Office Professional, those are actually all different insider programs.
They're all different insiders. Okay, I had no awareness of that. Now,
or as in Windows too. I mean, in other words, if you go to Windows and say I want to be insiders for Windows, you will get updates only for Windows. You have to go into Office on the updates page and set up what you want to be for insiders.
okay. Well, I have a couple of thoughts. I'm wondering if there's some other setting in Edge somewhere that has to do with confirmations or always allow or something like that. In this case, it would be related to notifications, whether you want to be prompted always, because there's some settings that can be always, never, or ask.
Yeah,
I think cookies are that way. And,
yes.
And there's also, for a client, I do a lot of configuring Edge to run in IE mode because they use a website that requires IE mode. And there's settings in there where you can say always, never, or ask.
Interesting. Somebody on the YouTube chat asks, do those who have no Chrome icon have Chrome installed or not?
I do, and Gary,
I do.
you
I
do.
do.
I have other browsers installed, but that's for testing at work. But I haven't used them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Chrome installed on mine. I don't touch Chrome.
Now,
Yeah.
Edge is derived from Chromium, which Chrome is also derived from Chromium. Why would Edge actually be displaying the logo of Google Chrome?
Possibly a plugin or an add-on or something that's in Edge that's pulling that. Maybe. That's the only guess I have.
Now this is YouTube, or excuse me, Chrome. It's up and up.
Okay, that's specifically YouTube. What if you go to some other website and look at, is there some other website that has a settings for notifications? This is settings for notifications specifically for YouTube. Well, what if we
Right.
just, I'm going to explore this on my computer, and I'm bringing up a new tab, not going to anything in particular, and then going to settings and go look for notifications adjustments of some sort. So I don't see the word notifications along here. I'm sure there's some path to click to it, but I'm going to search notifications, and here's site permissions, all sites. Here's recent activity, latest changes to site permissions. So if I go, this would be specific for notifications for YouTube. I would have thought it was going to take me to that same screen. It did not. So here's what I was describing. Ask, allow, block. So for all these different site permissions for YouTube, is it okay to let YouTube use my camera? Well, it's set for ask by default. I could say that I want YouTube to block my camera, and a person who is concerned about YouTube spying on them might choose to do that. Here's notifications. I'm set for allow. So Gary, if you go in through this path in Edge, what does it say here for allow? Is it set for ask, or is it set for allow?
I allow everything. All of them.
Well, can you go into that
Yeah.
that path, and when you get there, I'll display it. But I'm going to wait to type notifications up there.
Spelled halfway right.
Yeah, I'm not going to show your typos, so here you go.
Thank you. Notifications off. Okay, I had them up.
Okay, hang on a second. Can I display this before you make changes?
Sure.
All
I
right.
have everything up actually. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's now your layout here is very different than mine.
I'm 11.
Your Windows 11. Okay.
Mhm.
In fact, now stay on that for a page for a moment. I'm going to click back over to my display. See up here at the top, I have site permissions. Oh, let's see. I went too deep. I'm going to go back. I want to try to get my screen at the same place you're at. So you typed up here notifications,
I heard that.
and of course I did typos. Notifications. I'm seeing a different path entirely. Notifications, site permissions, notifications.
I still wonder where Google's sending just Chrome though. That's weird.
Okay,
You know,
Gary, let's go back to a brand new tab in Edge, and when you get to a new tab there, now stay right there for a moment.
Sure.
So I'm going to bounce over between yours and mine as we go through this. So my new tab is all cluttered. You have a clean new tab. So now in the upper right corner, we're both going to click on the ellipsis menu. I'm going to minimize the zoom clutter. So that ellipsis menu in the upper right, I'm clicking on mine. I'm going to ask you to click on yours. And now we're going to display those, compare those two. All right. Then I'm going to go down to settings and click it. And then you just clicked it. So here we have very similar screen.
This is, I mean, not to interrupt you again, but this is generic Edge, same one that if you're up to date, you should be running.
Okay, yeah. So now displaying my screen, I'm going to type notifications. I'm typing the whole word. Before I switch to your screen, I'm going to ask you to type the word, and let's be sure you're okay with what's there.
Yeah, no, there's nothing here that's a secret.
All right. So the full word notifications, don't click anywhere. Just stay there. Okay, so can I show what you have on your screen now?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So this is a precise match. Pretty, I think it's precise. At a glance, it is. Then the next thing I'm back to displaying my screen. The next thing I'm going to click on is all sites.
Let me look at your screen real quick.
Okay, I'll go back.
No, come on, start over. Me.
Yeah.
Where are you at up here?
This didn't get me back to the same place. I'm going to revert my screen back to the same place. So hang on to get where you're at. Yeah, see, once you get into a certain level, you can't just go back. So I'm going back to the ellipsis menu, settings, type notifications. And this is where you are at, coming back to switching over to your screen.
Because on the second page, or on notifications at the screen, at the very bottom, I have notifications allowed on YouTube. If you see that.
I do see that, but I wanted to go to all sites first rather than going directly to YouTube.
Sure.
And I have a reason for doing that. So there, you're there. Hang on, stay. Whoops, you're bouncing around.
I'm sorry, just reading.
Okay, so here I'm back on my screen, going to all sites. Now, that only shows YouTube as the only. I'm displaying all sites. Up at the top it says all sites. There's only one result, which means there's only one website that I have configured. And the same is true for you. There's only one site that you have configured. So then we click on that right arrow. I'll let you do that before I display your screen, and you did. And is that all okay? Looks okay to me. Looks identical. And
we have notifications you have allow?
Yeah, notifications for YouTube, I have allow. So we're set the same.
No, I'm talking about 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. It says notifications allow.
Yeah. I have the same thing there as you. I'm showing my screen on the YouTube video now.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's so similar. I have to tell people that because they have no way of knowing.
If my cursor's moving, it's mine.
Yeah. If I switch back to yours, my picture-in-picture is missing. So when I'm showing your screen, bottom right corner says Talking DougBetts. That's your screen that's showing. And also the time on the clock is different. Because you're in a different time zone.
Eastern.
So we have the same settings here.
Do we have the same edge date build?
Okay. Going to the ellipsis menu, then help and feedback, and then about Microsoft Edge. I'll let you go there and tell me it's okay to display your screen.
Sure.
Okay, so here's your screen. So 103, you have 103.0.1264.49. That's exactly the same as I have.
Official build.
They both say official build 64-bit. So the only other thing that's different is Windows 11. How about some kind of privacy settings or confirmation settings from Windows?
May I say something, Doug?
You may say something.
I've been following along and doing the same thing in my Edge, and I'm on Windows 10. And I also get the thing that says Chrome there, and I do not have Chrome installed. So it's recognizing Edge from its Chromium roots as Chrome on my system.
That's weird because it's not on mine.
So to repeat that, Jeff, you're showing the same experience that Gary has.
Yes.
You're on Windows 10.
Now,
right, I'm on Windows 10. I do not have Chrome installed. I've never had Chrome on this system.
Oh, so
this is my new build. I've never had Chrome on there.
We actually have a vertical software product that we are paying out the edge for, and it will only use Chrome for some weird reason.
Okay, and I've got the same version of Edge that you two do. I just checked that as well.
Okay. Now, Jeff, if you exit Edge and then
right
go back
now, I'm also watching. Okay, I'm watching you through Firefox, which is my normal one, but I started up Edge and followed along. and logged in to YouTube and yada yada, all that.
Okay, when you go back to YouTube, do you get that prompt to allow notifications every time you go back to, every time you reopen Edge and go to YouTube?
Okay, do I need to log out? Is that what you're telling me to log out to try that?
No, just close Edge and then reopen Edge, go to YouTube, and see if it prompts.
Okay, so I've closed Edge. Okay, started it up. YouTube. No, I was not asked that.
You are not asked to allow notifications.
So maybe that's okay. So maybe that is possibly coming from somewhere else. Someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's coming from YouTube.
But Jeff is getting the question, or Jeff is getting the Chrome there. That's weird.
Yeah, he's getting the word Chrome there. He's not getting the prompt about allowing notifications. So there still is the difference of Windows 11 versus Windows 10 between Jeff and Gary.
But you want to know the real funny thing? I get the notification in the bottom right-hand corner that you've sent 30 minutes to, matter of fact, I actually get them on the sign-in screen if I'm logged, I go away, I have mine go to a sign-in screen after 3 minutes.
Okay.
For security. And if I come back, an hour later, I have all kinds of notifications out there, which I'm not thrilled about. Outlook, Teams will send a notification that, Joe Blow in accounting wants to talk about why his budget's cut. So if you were sitting at my desk and got behind there, you wonder what the hell's going on. So I do get notifications on this machine.
Okay, I just stopped your sharing because I think we chased that down about as far as we can.
But we have come up with maybe one thing. I kind of like what Jim said, not that you didn't say it, but maybe it isn't coming from Edge.
Agreed.
But I'm getting the message, so that's the weird part. I'm complaining about the message up there on the left, not getting the messages. If I wasn't getting the messages, I would make sense.
Okay. It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to fix the Zoom configuration. It's messed up. I've got let's see. I've got it displayed on my monitor. That's my monitor 3 that shows Zoom, but the Zoom that I'm trying to broadcast is unhappy. And a recent update to XSplit has kind of messed this up. Let's see here. This should do it. Zoom meeting, and then no, that's still not. Gary, does your screen indicate that you're still sharing your screen?
Nope. No, sir. It wants me to. When I go into share, it wants me to share. No, I'm not sharing it.
All right. I'm just going to finish out the show by showing Zoom on monitor 3 instead of through my stupid fancy button. Ken is here. Hello, Ken. Is he going to bother saying hello?
I'll give the audio a shot, but it scares me. For some reason, there's a lot of feedback.
Oh, all right. Well, it's sounding okay now.
Oh, give it time. It's me.
All right. Well, let's see. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. Are you ready for the stuff that I thought you might be interested in?
Yes. That's why I was trying to join, but again, the audio was not functioning right. So here I am.
All right. You had issues or still have issues regarding getting videos to upload to iCloud from your phone, right?
Yes. Just videos.
Yeah, just videos. So here I have a screenshot from my phone displayed on screen. And that is showing up in Zoom. Okay, so you're able to see that through Zoom, even though my broadcasting of Zoom is messed up. So this is a screenshot I took this morning because the videos and photos that I took this morning of the Big Beast build that I wanted to use during today's live stream, they weren't getting updated. They weren't getting uploaded to iCloud. Down here you see, in order to get the screen that I have now on the iPhone, you have to open the Photos app. It's not from the camera app, it's from the Photos app. And then drag the screen upward, and this part down here will show you the status of your uploads. So this morning, this was showing that it was last updated yesterday. And the question was, how do I force it to do an update now? Then I'll go to the next photo. Now up at the top, this shows 9:58 and 40 seconds. So this next photo is a few minutes later, and it shows 24,591 photos, 1,110 videos, uploading 3 items. And I could pause it if I needed to. Now, the way I did this, after doing some Google searching to find out how do I force it to start uploading, because I thought that if I leave it on the charger sitting idle, it would start doing that, and that was not the case. I tried a couple of solutions that I found in Google searches that did not work. What did work for me is I exited all apps, but I don't think that part was required. I shut the phone off and then started the phone up again, opened the Photos app, and then dragged the screen upward, and I saw this message uploading 3 items. And then right arrow key, now it says uploading 4 items. Now let's look at those times. I went back one photo. That's 10:05:40, 10:07:15. It now says uploading 4 items. Right arrow key again. No, that's the end of it. So my bottom line answer is that shutting the phone off, restarting it was the only way that I got it to start doing the upload. Had you already?
I agree.
Had you already been through that, or did you already find that
I
solved
figured
it?
that out a while back.
Okay. Well, then it's for other people. But
the videos still take forever. If it's about a 2-hour video, it's generally taking about a day and a half to upload to the cloud.
Yeah, that's
Does that seem normal?
Yes, it does. It seems entirely believable to me. Now, what could you do to speed it up? If you could connect an Ethernet cable to your iPhone, that probably help. Oh, that's a USB. That's not an Ethernet, is it?
No, it's USB.
As far as I know, there might be adapters to. In fact, I think there is Ethernet adapters that you can plug into a Lightning port. That might speed it up, because it's using your Wi-Fi connection. And well, you also want to make sure it is doing the upload only through your Wi-Fi connection. So you might want to turn off cellular data and see if it goes faster. But my inclination is that a long video is going to take a long time. Now, you might remember the company retreat video that I did up at the cabin.
Yes.
The 5 Dougs. Well, those were long. Those were all recorded on iPhones. I had 3 iPhones I was using for that. But I used USB cables connected to my phone and browsed to the folder on the phone to copy it, rather than using iCloud for those, because those were long videos.
Yeah, I've got photos turned off on cellular data, and the Wi-Fi is connected. I thought I did have that way, but and I'm trying to log into my iCloud right now, and like the rest of the day's going, it's not working.
Okay, I'm gonna go catch up with chat. Wintermute, wake on LAN. Yeah, that's the option on a computer's BIOS to allow it to be able to wake up through a network connection. Ken filing home, beyond. Okay, Wintermute, isn't that a good thing? Notifications are horrible. No, in some circumstances, people might want notifications. Is Chrome the default browser in Gary's computer?
Well, yes.
Yes.
No,
No?
well,
No.
guess.
Wild guess. Oh, wild guess. No. The Bronc 9, my Lenovo ThinkPad has reverted to Windows Home after installing Pro and using it these past 2 years, watching on hotspot. That's weird.
To answer the question, even though it's yours, obviously, I have never seen that, but all the home programs are still there when Pro is installed.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And all the Pro elements of Windows 10 is there when you install Home.
Correct.
Now, here's let me throw out a couple possibilities. If a computer crashes and Windows performs a reversion to an earlier state, let's suppose this computer was Windows 10 Home and he upgraded to Windows 10 Pro, and then sometime during the following days or weeks, the computer experiences a crash and it reverts to a prior state. Could it revert to Windows 10 Home? I don't know. If you were to do a system restore, I don't think that would do it, because I think once you upgrade to Windows 10 Pro that all the restore points would be wiped out. The computer still has a valid activation, Windows 10 Home activation with Microsoft. So if you were to intentionally reinstall Windows 10 Home, that should automatically reactivate, because I would suspect, I haven't tested, haven't researched it, but I would suspect if you upgrade from Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro, that both licenses are still valid, and if you reinstall either of them, it will automatically instantly activate. So what could cause a Lenovo ThinkPad or any computer to revert to Home after having upgraded it to Pro? Those are my thoughts.
Doug.
Yeah.
I actually got an answer for that I'm not tried it, but I know it is correct.
Okay.
Lenovo comes with a restore partition. It's usually like 20 gig at the end of the drive. That does not get updated by Windows. So if you boot up and say that you want to restore your computer, it will grab that.
Of course, yeah, and that's restoring to a factory state, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you screw up your system, somebody may have done that and not realize it went back to that.
Yeah, I would think the user would realize it, because they'd have programs that are not present and other configurations. It seems
a lot of all their programs.
Yeah.
And all their data.
Yeah. So yeah, they just lose everything. All right, let me continue in chat. John Aloy, any idea why my Windows 10 would require me to dismiss the lock screen rather than just signing in with Windows Hello? This started a short time ago. Okay, so you restart. What I'm deducing here is you restart the computer, and it goes to a lock screen where you have to press Enter key or click a mouse button, as opposed to other Windows 10 computers. You start them up and they'll go straight to your prompt for your PIN or your password or whatever. I have noticed that, and I've scratched my head and not tried to focus in on it at all. But I have noticed that computers, when I start a computer up and it goes straight to a password prompt or a PIN prompt or whatever other Windows Hello you might be signing in with, and then somewhere down the line, that no longer seems to be the case. It starts up and goes straight to the lock screen where you have to press a key or click a button. And I've had clients actually call me on this, because they say, my computer's frozen, my computer's locked up, I turned it on or I restarted it, and it's not giving me a password prompt. And I tell them, click their mouse anywhere on the screen or press the Enter key, and boom, there it is. Of course, on some computers, I think it's servers, you have to press Control-Alt-Delete. The mouse key or Enter won't do it. You have to press Control-Alt-Delete, and that's a security function. So I don't know the solution to that. Anybody else in Zoom have something to say about that?
Is it a laptop or a desktop?
He doesn't say. I'm going to scroll forward to see if John Aloy has any other comments. Nope, he doesn't. So we'll move forward and see if there's any more developed from chat responses or from John. Hellos. I thought Edge was Chromium based. Yes. Rick Lates. Yep, they changed all that. Not sure what he's referring to. Any extensions in browser? So that's a question to Gary. Do you have any extensions in Edge?
0.
Okay.
None.
Selden Bell, do those with no Chrome icon have Chrome installed or not? Yes, we do. I'm wondering if it only appears with Chrome installed. And Gary, you said you do have Chrome installed?
Yes.
Yeah, and Jeff does not. And he's also having...
I have the Chrome icon,
Yeah,
but I don't have Chrome installed. I've never had it on this computer.
yeah. Sevilla's
It's
Chrome...
not my. Oh, sorry.
Chrome is your default or is not, Gary?
Is not.
Is not. Scopio, I have notifications to on, but never get notifications. I use Edge. Yeah, if you have notifications set to on, but you don't have Chrome open, then you're not going to get notifications through Chrome. If you have notifications turned on through your cell phone, in the YouTube app, I think the YouTube app might have to be open in order for you to get notifications. I'm not certain on that. Now, he might be saying that he has notifications on using Edge. Now, Gary, you have notifications on in YouTube in Edge, and what you're questioning, your question was, why do you always have to click allow? But do you actually get notifications? I think you already answered that.
I have, real quick, notifications on in Windows 11, notifications on in Edge, browser, Edge. And if I'm gone, I have a lock screen that shows up, okay, I have a screensaver lock screen, that's fine. Picture of my daughter, who cares? You guys don't. Sign on, that's cool. But on that lock screen, that's what I was saying, if you hit, when you look at it, it'll actually tell you all the notifications I've got while it was gone.
So yes, you do get notifications.
Outside of the browser, yes.
All right.
But let me interrupt you about, I'm ahead, I apologize again. I do have YouTube Premium.
Okay, and so do I. Jeff, do you have YouTube Premium?
No.
Okay.
Nothing consistent.
Oh, and that's where Ran Israel was asking about YouTube Premium. Rick says he always says 3 dots. I think that's in reference to my use of the word ellipsis menu. The 3-dot menu. The vertical 3 dots is not an ellipsis menu. The horizontal 3 dots is ellipsis because if you're typing a sentence and you want to indicate the rest of the stuff or miscellaneous, you do 3 dots. That's ellipsis. Let's see, go to settings about compare versions. Yeah, we did compare versions, so his request happened before we did that, I guess. Just finished putting up 5 PCs, 76 in foil in attic, taking a break. What? Oh, that's between Greg and Jeff.
Insulation.
Oh, insulation. Oh, 5 pieces. I thought he put 5 PCs and wrapped them in foil.
Might run a little hot.
Such a Doug. Hoping for another storm. That's chit chat. Close Edge, reopen to test. Well, yeah, Wintermute is. I mean, I'm starting to stumble over words. Gary has reported already that he closes Edge and reopens it, and he still gets prompted to allow notifications. Greg, to everyone, I have version. He's given us his version number, but never use Edge.
Same as the rest of us had.
Yeah. If you guys aren't able to tell, I'm fading. My energy level is declining rapidly. Scopio, I have Chrome, but it does not show notifications in Edge, same as Jeff. Okay, I recognize that. EDGE. So insert it. So add same message. Ugh. Doug, get over it.
Mr. Lakes.
Rick, the latest.
Interestingly enough, I had to manually update my Edge the other day. I don't use it much.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
I'm
Selden?
sorry.
Selden here. Notifications on lock screen is a setting for the lock screen in Windows 10. I don't know if it's
Yes,
the same. All right. You're saying it is the same. All right.
Can I interrupt again? No, go ahead and cut
All
me
right.
off. A quick answer to Jeff's question. It does update through Windows Test Scheduler if you have, well, it gets set up automatically, but it can be turned off.
I don't even know what Windows Test Scheduler is.
I will let Doug, if he wants to tell you. I mean, TAS in your search and it'll bring you up to it. But it actually sets it up. There's like quite a few things to run at night that you guys don't know about if you don't go in there.
Yeah, task scheduler right here, and I'm thinking that that'll be a subject in Windows
Oh,
Daily.
the task scheduler. Okay, the regular task scheduler. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought you said something else. You
Okay.
changed your
I'm sorry.
phrase a little bit. I know what task scheduler is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna start down that road because I'm getting worn out. Someone tell Doug to go to chat. I apologize how long I was away from chat. That's not my intent. How's it going, Manny? That's chit chat. Wintermute profile issue. Perhaps if Edge is not remembering settings, Gary should try creating a new profile to test. Gary, your Edge was actually logged in with a profile or was not? Was. Yeah, so he's saying if you create a new profile just to test and see if that new profile remembers the setting without prompting you again, that would indicate there's some kind of a corruption or issue with your current profile, just as a troubleshooting
Might try that
step.
one.
Jeff to Greg, still thundering lightning cooled off. The Bronc after I did a Windows update. That's
That
a
has
ref-
to do with it reverting to home.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So no, we're not giving you we don't have an answer for you, but I'd be curious to go back and look through Event Viewer around that date. As maybe Event Viewer might have got wiped out when it reverted to home.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never seen that, but I said the reason it could have happened, but I have two questions. Was it registered, or activated with a pro key that was bought from Microsoft or a third party?
That's a good question.
You know, Microsoft might have said, ain't happening anymore, guy.
I think there might be something in the details, such as, well, how long ago did this whole event occur? How long between when it reverted to home? Did it wipe out Event Viewer history? Did it wipe out System Restore? And all of that is just throwing darts of exploration to try to focus in on it. And one of the things, like if this was something that happened 2 years ago, it's going to be really hard to track down anything. If this was something that happened last week, maybe we got a shot at trying to narrow something down. If you have any photographic or video evidence to document, I'm not casting aspersions on your recollection, but I don't trust my recollection for nothing. And so, but if you had photographic or some kind of documentation, screenshots or something, that would make a more substantive documentation of the experience.
Is there some glitch that could cause it to retrieve the key from the BIOS where it was always home?
It's certainly possible. If the manufacturer of the computer had some kind of a proprietary hard-coded home license installed in BIOS? Could that have done something? Could a BIOS update have caused the home license to take precedence? Was there any change whatsoever in the data content when it reverted to home, or was all data, all programs intact? Because all the data and all the programs could exist regardless of the computer booting up with a home or a pro license. Zavi says, even Gary said that Chrome is not the default browser. I think that it is. Can we confirm that? So the confirmation, press the Windows key, type browser, and then choose a default web browser, and see right here where it says web browser. Now, of course, we know that with Windows 11, which Gary has, there's lots of different browser specifications or file types that could be set for one browser or the other.
Yeah, and all of those are Edge.
They're all Edge. So
Yep.
here's choose default apps by type, apps by program, and these here are these are default apps by file type. So it's not just going to be showing browser related file types here, I don't think. It's still scanning. That's kind of taking a long time. And the thing here is I try to find something here that is a browser. This is showing how these are selected. So let's go all the way down to HTTP. Let's see. Here we got a bunch of H's. HTM is Microsoft Edge. HTTP. My brain is so fouling up right now. HTTP is not even in this list.
That's not a file type.
Oh, it's not a file type. Of course not. It's a URL, but so the HTM is a file type, and it's set for Edge. So even if you have your default browser set to Chrome, you might come in here and find that HTML and HTML is set for Edge. I don't know that that is specifically the case. I'm just pointing out this issue. So here's by protocol. That's going to have HTTP. I can't even get through a sentence.
You lost Fortnite last night, huh? Yeah.
What?
Nothing. That was a bad one.
Oh.
In other words, you got upset because you lost.
Oh, no, I lose plenty often. That's not my energy issue. So here's, let's see, if I select that, hypertext trial, this doesn't even tell what it's set for. Set default apps by protocol. I can't even choose, I can't even double click on one of these. What's going on? Choose a default. Oh, okay, so it's saying the HTTP is currently set to Edge. I click out here to change, to say if I want HTTP to be set on Google Chrome, I select it here. So my point was, if you have your default browser set to Chrome, you may come in here and find a lot of things still set for Edge. That's what I meant to say, right?
Yeah. Doug, I looked at my apps by file type.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't change the file type, but my HTM is set to Firefox, and all I did was to change the default browser to Firefox.
Yeah.
So it took care of all of those automatically.
Yeah, when you change your default web browser here, it's going to change some of those file types and some of those protocols. But it's not, especially in Windows 11, it's not going to change all of the file types and protocols that use a browser. It's not going to change all of them to the, what you are asking to be your default browser. And that was one of the complaints about Windows 11.
Okay. I got you.
If you change your web browser to Chrome, it's not going to change all of those protocols and file types, just some of them. Did I just mess up the pronunciation of the word protocol? I think I did.
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me typing? I'm going to type something here now.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, good. I'm hearing it. That's why I asked. Okay, thanks.
Yep. Coming back to chat. Here's where I was at. Rand says you can configure the lock screen or Control-Alt-Delete requirement using registry or group policy. It makes total sense to me that you can do that. My question was more along the lines, why does a computer change its behavior without making change to registry or group policy? And he is saying that that has to be done with registry or group policy. Now you can only get to group policy if you have Pro, although there is a workaround to get to it with Home, but it's really intended for corporate domain joined computers, and you should be able to get to it through the registry regardless of whether you're using Home or Pro, unless you are logged into a domain and you are restricted from making registry changes. PC's foiled again. Interesting. Thank you. I think that was from Chit Chat. Meaning between people, not meaning things that I said. Greg Guy, no reflective insulation to reduce heat transfer. He was correcting me on my interpretation of his message. The foil thing, yeah. Doug needs to recharge his batteries, and it's not going to happen during live stream. I got to get off of here. So bad. Almost caught up. I mean, then we're going to shut this down pretty abruptly. The Bronc 9, it was a key purchased, installed, and activated by Windows. Okay, so there's some still variables in there. It was a key.
From who, though?
Yeah, who was it bought from?
I think he's saying he bought it through the option in Windows to upgrade your version.
If that's the case, then it darn well shouldn't have went back.
Well,
I will tell you, I have a laptop that came with Home. I bought a key from Microsoft and upgraded it to Pro. The laptop crashed. I reinstalled Windows 10 from scratch and it came up as Home. I had to re-enter my old key to get it to go back to Pro. Because the Home key was in the BIOS.
Correct.
And I have purchased a Pro key from within a Windows Home computer, used the built-in clicks to purchase the key, and it failed to work. And that's when I had to go figure out, okay, how do you do that? And I published a video on doing that, where you have to use this temporary key that Microsoft has made available to everybody, where you have to disconnect from the internet, restart the computer, use this temporary key. I'm not going to say the sequence quite right, but you have to somehow activate this other temporary key without being connected to the internet, where it actually isn't activating with Microsoft servers, but it gets you into a Pro version of Windows 10, and then restart the computer and connect to the internet, and then apply the license that you purchased. Some weird hoops to jump through. And I've had a lot of people put in the comments on that video thanking me because they were pulling their hair out with it. It's a very, very screwed up, did I say that? Thing you have to do. So I'm going to go to let's go to my channel the right way. I'll go in and I want to show how to find this. So youtube.com/LWTDB. My fingers messed up again.
Actually, Microsoft has made a conscientious memo. I don't know if they've ever leaked it, but if you have it's not illegal, an invalid key bought from God knows where, they're not going to screw with your machine. They will screw with the person who sold it.
They're not going to what, your machine?
Back 7 and early 10, if you had an invalid key or a key that was, let's say, a volume key, and it was reported stolen from a company, they at one point would brick not brick the motherboard, but your Windows would not work properly. Now they don't touch it.
Okay, So
you
they're
can
not
buy
they're
in.
not going to go after the victim.
Exactly.
Okay, so here we're on my list of videos. I'm going to try the magnifying glass and see how this works for a search. Pro upgrade. Solved. How to upgrade Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro. There is a known bug in the Home to Pro upgrade process. Use this fix. So that is my video on the subject. I'll go paste the URL. I'm going to copy it from there. Pause that. Get back to chat. I'll paste that into chat if somebody wants to refresh on that. I don't think that's a very long video, right? 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes. To show that process. All right, where was I at? Please let me be finished. In Gmail, what?
I'm sorry. In what you just said, I mean, you're correct. That is correct. But that is a conscious effort of Microsoft's part because, again, the volume keys are stuff being stolen from work. If you want to upgrade from Home to Pro, Pro is actually more expensive by itself than the upgrade package. So if you went to Costco today, why would you pick up the Pro instead of the $30 cheaper Home upgrade? Excuse me. You would pick up Pro, just here's Pro. It costs $130 more than upgrade from Home to Pro.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do that. So
Yeah.
people that are upgrading with just the regular Pro are probably getting those keys nefariously or silly people.
Now, when I actually did do a Home to Pro upgrade because on Baby Beast I restored the image from my prior my prior secondary computer, and it was Windows 10 Home, and I wanted it to be Windows 10 Pro. The method I used for that was I bought the Windows 10 Pro license through Carry and used that procedure that's in that video. Now that Windows 10 Pro license from Carry was not an upgrade, but it's cheaper than buying the retail Windows 10 Pro upgrade key from Best Buy or whatever. So that's just the way I did it. Now that computer had already been activated by Carry on Windows 10 Pro. But with restoring my image from my prior computer, I couldn't get that to take. Maybe there was some other hoops I could have jumped through to make it take, but for the, $17 or whatever it wasn't worth my time to read a paragraph about how to do it. I just did it and got it over with. All right, Parker Morse, in Gmail, how do you send and receive receipts? How quickly can I do that? I probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm going to go to a new email in Gmail. And yeah, that's good. I was displaying something on that Gmail screen I did not want to publicize. Send receipt. How quickly am I going to remember it? Request receipt. I don't know. You know what? I'll do. I'm not remembering that quickly enough. Compose. I'll probably do that in a Windows Daily soon. I just don't have the energy to go down that road now. So Parker Morse.
When you do that on Windows Daily, can you add how to add a signature at the bottom as well, please?
Yeah, those are two good things.
A PDF signature?
Gmail.
Yeah, just something.
No,
at the bottom that says
email
it's me.
signature. Email
Yeah.
signature. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay. Gmail, send receipt, request receipts. You should see how I'm scribbling this. I cannot even write with a pen. Signature. Doesn't help that this pen, the ink is running out. All right, moving on. Good stuff. Chris, when I built my computer, please stop asking me questions in chat. I'm trying to finish this up and get out of here. I am so tired. When I built my computer 2018, it was Windows 10 Pro. There was a bug that caused it to deactivate, and it showed it was Windows 10 Home. Oh, okay. There's a second person describing that symptom. When you built the computer 2018, it was Windows 10. We haven't heard yet how long ago that issue was for whoever brought up that issue. My brain's totally fried. There was a bug that caused it to deactivate, and it shows Windows 10 Home. Yeah, okay, so same symptom. Greg DeParker, I'm not going to read it. Maybe some update with Lenovo caused it to redo it. Yeah, I agree. Zvi, in my computer with Windows 11, I'm using Opera as default browser, no Chrome installed in Edge. I do not get any request to allow it after the first time. Okay, no Chrome. And, oh, in Edge, he does not. So he's confirming the behavior myself is getting. What kind of grammar was that? Good grief.
Time to say goodnight, Gracie.
It is so bad.
Yeah.
I want out of here so bad. You just don't know. Chris, the Windows 10 Pro I bought was purchased from Newegg. Should have been 1803, but they sent 1709.
That's here. That's here, there, back again.
All right. Signature. I have no idea what you just said, but I said all right. Chris, I hope you feel better. Maybe you need some rest. Yeah. So what? It might be comical if I try doing Fortnite this afternoon. We're intending to do that at 4:15 p.m. So that gives me 3 hours to recover. I think 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Zvi says now after installing Chrome, the same line as Gary, but only in Chrome browser, not in Opera, not in Edge. So Zvi is saying he installed Chrome, and he's getting the same line as Gary, meaning he's getting the word Chrome on that screen.
That's probably coming from YouTube.
Oh, but he's saying only in the Chrome browser, not in the Edge browser.
Yeah.
Gary's getting that line in the Edge browser. John says good night. Did the Bronx hit me in orange just because I asked you not to?
Possibly.
That's between Ken and John. Or maybe he just stopped typing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm out of here, people.
A quick comment, and I will sign off if you're still there.
All right.
Windows 10 and 11 both keep someplace, and I do not know where, but I actually do. Windows version that the PC came with, even if you upgrade to another version, like from Home to Pro, or Home to 11. Yeah. So you can find out. So that's probably what the defaults are going to. Good night, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Good night. Bye. So see there how I did that? I let them go ahead and check themselves out of Zoom before I replied to that. Because if you upgrade, the old system is still there. But we know that because we can revert back to it. But then after a period of time, perhaps it doesn't. But if you do one of those cleaning procedures to remove unneeded files, probably going to delete that content. All right. Goodbye, the rest of you that are in Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and bounce you out of here. Thank you for saying goodbye. You just did that visually. Go ahead and say goodbye verbally.
Can't Stop Live, 10:30 tonight. Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
All right. Thank you all. That takes you out of there. Goodbye. I would usually say something like, I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye. I did it. 3, 2, 1, 0, click.